Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today working on the frame on the 80 Chevy Silverado. Still working on that. So you can see I took out the front cross member. It goes usually, it's in front of the engine. This goes under the engine. And I took that out because I got to do some repairs. Now, this has got the very well known cracks behind the steering box. And I've got a plate here that's going to repair. Actually, it's a couple plates, and I'm going to install that a little differently than what is usually done. Now, usually this is put on the outside here of the frame. That is after you fix your cracks. You got to fix your cracks. I've got this one ground out. I'm gonna work on this one first. I got another one over here, and I thought I had another one, but maybe I don't. But anyway, you got to grind them out, and then you've got where the crack. See, this crack comes down here and it stops there. I've drilled a hole. That's gonna keep it from, or keep the crack from continuing on and cracking more. But it shouldn't happen anymore with my repair, and then I'm going to get a support for it. So it shouldn't do it anymore, but I've got some clamps on there to get everything straight, because it was kind of wanting to move. So I got a bunch of clamps here. I'm gonna put some weld here. I'm gonna put some weld here and here, and then once I get it all where it's supposed to be, I'll take the clamps off and I'll finish welding the rest of it. Just want to get it straight. You know, normally you don't have to pull this cross member out. They had a repair. They tried to fix it with this thing, but this wasn't doing a whole lot. Didn't look like to me, because it was re-cracking. Plus they didn't have no support. But very common, guys. Oh, there's another crack. I got a crack go to here to there, because I got another hole drilled at the end of the crack. So I'm going to do this first, then I'll come over here and I'll do this side. There's a crack that goes all the way down and goes into here. I got to grind that out. Because the frame is so nice, I don't want to have a big piece welded on the outside. I'm going to actually weld that piece that on the inside here after I get all my cracks fixed. So that's how I'm going to fix it. You can't do that unless you remove this, because it will not go in there unless you remove that. So if you're not going to remove that, you can't do what I'm doing here. I think why everybody goes on the outside is because they're usually fixing this with a motor in there and everything in the way. They don't have it stripped down to the frame. So I can do that because I've got this thing all the way stripped down. I talked to the guys at Off-Road Design. He said it should be fine putting that on the inside. So I feel pretty confident that that's going to fix it. And then I'm going to get the support. I'm using the big welder again. What is this, a Miller-Matic 200 or something like that? Forget what this is. It's a pretty good size welder. I want to get good penetration because this is a frame. As you're going to see, probably a lot of stress and everything. Although I use my little Hobart quite a bit, but being this is a frame, I want to get something that's really going to penetrate really well. So I'm going to get to it, guys. Okay, so I got it all welded up. Good penetration, so I'm going to grind it down. I got some extra weld on there. I'm going to let it cool off, so I don't want to overheat this too much. But yeah, there should be plenty of weld there for me to grind it down and be nice and strong. Okay, so after a bunch of grinding here, I got this all ready, or all finished up. The welding of the cracks anyway. Really happy with how it turned out there. I've got this side ground all the way down. Everything I welded. On this side, I didn't just completely smooth it out because it's going to be behind this plate there. So I just ground it down enough so it wouldn't mess up the plate. So it's not completely smooth under here. Probably going to paint that something, maybe some weld through or something behind that before I stick my plate on. But it's ready. It is ready for the plate now. So the plate's going to go in there like that. So with that main piece in the frame, this piece here was supposed to go on the bottom. And it's supposed to weld to that. So I'm going to have to modify that. These two holes here are supposed to go around those rivets that would normally be in there holding that cross member. Obviously I took the cross member out, so the rivets aren't there, but there's holes. So I'm gonna actually put this on the inside of the frame, something like so. I'm gonna cut it down because it's wide because it's supposed to go over the frame, and it's supposed to stick out here, and it's supposed to catch that piece. So I'm gonna do it on the inside. I think it's going to be fine. I'm going to have to shorten it too because it can't go past this cross member. But again, I think it'll do the same exact thing, reinforcing the frame where it needs it. And then again, I'm going to have the brace, so it shouldn't be moving. So there should be no more cracking going on. So actually I've got it marked out where I'm going to cut it. About there, probably a little smaller, so I can weld it to the frame there. But it'll all be inside the frame and you won't see it, you know, from outside, because this frame is so nice. I'm going to sand it probably all down, and it's going to look, it's going to look like a brand new frame once it's painted. So I just didn't want all this on the outside, you know, messing up the look. Probably you should have done it the other way, would have been probably easier. But that's not the way I roll, so. Yeah, I've got to figure out what I'm doing behind that plate. Get it bolted up, ready to weld on. And I got to get this modified and ready to weld on. Okay, so I got all my pieces fit, ready to weld onto the frame, and I just put some of this 3M weld through primer or coating or whatever you want to call it. I sprayed it on the back side of the repair end right here. You use this stuff when you can't get behind it to paint it. This is going to stop rust and stuff from forming behind the panels. And it's made to be, you know, welded. I usually scratch it away where I'm actually going to weld, because you don't get a very good weld if you try to weld on top of the primer. So I usually scratch it away where I'm going to actually weld. But anyway, the protection is going to be under there. I'm going to get these clamped on there and some of the primer cleaned off where I'm going to weld it. And we'll get to welding this repair on. Okay guys, so I got the main piece welded in. If we come over here, you can see we got really good penetration there on the welds. And you can see I just recoated this because I'm going to do that piece there. And after doing some grinding and stuff, I took off all the coating, but you can see where I welded it. It's not a full weld. I know you think your strongest deal is weld this all the way up, all the way around it, but for some reason they don't want you to do that. I don't know if that's going to cause a lot of warpage. So you weld and then stop, then weld, stop, weld, you know. You just kind of put a bunch of welds all the way around it, but they don't want it welded completely. So, I'm about ready to get this piece on here. I'm going to get it clamped on. I got my paint's wet there still. I got to give it 5 minutes. And put that on there. We'll get that piece in there. Okay, so we're all finished up, ain't we, buddy? Got the bottom support welded in there. I did more welding than I probably should have, but I wanted to weld that in really good. But it's finished up, maybe a little more cleanup here and there. And that's pretty much the repair. Yeah, once I get the support, I'll probably have to modify the support a little bit because I put this on the inside. But I'm going to get the steering box support. I'll show you that when I get it. And you can see the side's nice and clean like I wanted it. You're actually not even going to know this repair is here unless you go underneath the truck and look underneath and search for it. But yeah, it's a little better than what the previous owner did to repair it. This is the right way to repair this, guys. You know, you go on the outside of the frame, obviously, because like I said, most people don't tear their stuff down all this far to do this job, but I'm happy with it. So that's pretty much it. But Guys, look what I found here. Yeah, we got the crossover there is broken or cracked. I have something to fix that, but you guys are gonna have to stay tuned with the build here. But yeah, I got something finished up on the frame. I've sanded this side of the rail, a lot of it, and it's looking really nice, guys. You can see just how nice. Like I said, you get some paint on that, it's gonna look like a brand new frame. So it's gonna take me a little while because there's a lot to clean in this frame up. So bear with me, guys. I'm trying to do a really nice job. I hate it when people hack things. I mean, it's just, some people are proud of it. I don't know why you'd be proud to hack things, but anyway, guys, like I said, keep following me. I'll keep making videos, and I'll see you.